So it was two things primarily, professional stuff for work, and then also personal stuff. When a buddy of mine asked me if I could go with him on vacation, and we planned a vacation to go to Panama, and I actually met my now current fiance there, and I didn't really know that much Spanish back then, so I was kind of just doing like basically my high school Spanish that I had learned, and I was able to like make her laugh and like do some other things, but that's definitely not something that could go on forever. And if I really wanted to learn and like have conversations with her, then I was going to have to like dig deep and learn Spanish. And I tried like all kinds of books. Like I have a stack of books sitting over by my TV of just like all kinds of different things. Professional wise, I'm a police officer, in the area that I work in is a large Latin American community. A lot of Spanish only speaking people. So it was good for that as well, because then I can communicate with those people who, when they call for help, they actually have someone right then and there that can help them and communicate with them without having to call. We have like a language line, and somebody who's not really familiar with like police interaction and like, could be scared or whatever. It's a lot easier for them to communicate with someone face to face. I was doing like Duolingo and some other things like that. And it wasn't like great. Like everything that I like had learned was just, okay, this is how you conjugate this verb. This is how you conjugate this verb. And then you'd have to sit there and pull back from your memory. Okay. It just I wasn't able to have like a conversation, and could not pick up like anything that people were saying, or like somebody would say like a sentence to me in Spanish, and oh, I know baño, I know that word, like, and then not really understanding any of the rest of it. So I was kind of, I guess, like intermediate or less. Like I could read it from a textbook or whatever and kind of pick up some things here and there. Like I wasn't really comprehending a whole lot. I have several textbooks, ones that I could write in, ones that I could just read and kind of follow along with. I tried the various like Spanish like apps and things. And I wasn't particular, like I said, I wasn't really like picking it up. And then I saw that LearnCraft Spanish had like the free version of their podcast. So I started listening to the podcast, and I was like, this is like good. Like I'm actually like starting to pick some things up, but I felt like I needed more. Like I wanted to dive in like deeper and get, more stuff. So I looked at the like course, and I took the leap because I thought it was necessary for me to learn Spanish, and in order to gain something worthwhile, you have to risk a little bit in the beginning, or risk something to gain a lot, I guess. So I took the leap, and I'm quite happy that I did, because now my Spanish is a lot better, and it's been great. It's been not only like, I'm not like one of those nerdy people who are like, oh yeah, learning is so much fun. Like I've never really felt like that, but as I was going along with the program and like doing stuff and working with my Spanish coach, I was like starting to have fun and like have those like eureka moments, like, oh wow, like I can't believe I guessed that without any like, it's just cool. It was cool to actually like feel like these things are sticking with me, and I'm starting to comprehend what's going on. After reading certain concepts or going over, a chapter in one of these books, the next chapter or subsequent chapters would kind of contradict some of the things that we've learned previous in the chapter or in a previous chapter. So then with this series, with like actually having a Spanish coach, like if you have a question about something, you can pretty much, immediately ask, or send an email or send a message to someone saying like, hey, I didn't really understand this concept. Can you help like clarify what we're talking about in this lesson? Or if there was an example in one of the lessons that I didn't really understand, like I could immediately like send a message to my coach, or there's like a whole community in Slack that you could ask. And it was nice to see that other people were having like similar questions, or people from different backgrounds had difficulty or trouble with certain things. And we kind of all were together in like the learning process. Having someone to get that immediate feedback from, and then after a week of going over new or different concepts, at the end of the week, you have your coach who you've been getting to learn more about and talk to, and she can give you she or he, I guess, depending on if you have a male coach. Mine was female. She'd be able to, go back with you and be like, hey, yeah, like you were kind of struggling here, so let's practice some of this stuff. And it was like an immediate like feedback, so like anytime that there was, you were struggling or had issues, my coach would be able to like say, hey, let's go over some of these things and then we'll start doing this. And then she was consistently challenging me too. So like whenever we had things, I was like, okay, like this concept was easy for me to comprehend based on previous things that I had been doing on my own. So let's give you a more difficult challenge to really like help me or make me think about, something different. As far as conversations with my fiance, like things went from, us having very basic conversations to, me asking about her family and how things are going, and having more emotionally driven conversations, like things that, are wants, our wishes and desires, versus just, oh yeah, the car is red, the car picks us up at 12, like that compared to like, yeah, like what are you feeling for dinner, like what do you want to eat tonight, like things that I didn't really understand a lot of concepts as it pertained to utilizing the subjunctive and stuff like that in just regular sentences. So that was kind of like a hindrance for me, because it wasn't just the style in which that I learn things. It's not easy for me to just read a book and then instantly memorize these things. But with what we've been doing in the course, like it's not only you hearing the things, you're writing down, you're practicing, and you take as much away from it as you want to. So the more things or the more different styles that you use to learn these things, the more you start to comprehend and the more information that you retain. Like I work midnights on my job, and there's no one else in my like area that speaks Spanish and English. There's nobody else in practically the majority area of where I work that is like bilingual. A lot of times, like it's imperative that information gets relayed to other officers. So like if we have a specific scene or something going on, and when we arrive on scene, like not being able to communicate or understand what our victims or our interviewees are saying is like a complete hindrance to like the suspect possibly getting away, or not understanding what the real problem is with the situation. As far as the personal side, like my fiance knows that I had been struggling with learning Spanish for a while, so she would, if there would be a concept or something that she's like irritated about and trying to like trick me, she'll just speak in Spanish very quickly to try and like trick me. Now she can't do that anymore because like I know what she's saying, and it's like, okay, no, we're not gonna go get ice cream, we have stuff that we have to do, like or whatever. Just that used to be a trick that she would pull with me when I was relatively new at learning Spanish. And so it just makes things such like there's a much deeper connection between us, and it doesn't feel like, I'm talking with a pen pal where we're just going back and forth like, oh, how was your day? Oh, my day was great. Like now we actually have conversations about things that, we want to do in the future, and like how things are going to work out, or things about finances, like all kinds of stuff. So I anticipate that things are going to be much different. I think just like anything else, I think it's an investment, and it's very important to understand that you're making a financial and I guess an educational investment. And for me, I personally think that you need to have good motivation to do so. And you're not going to gain anything if you don't risk something. It's, similar to like investing in a stock or your retirement fund or things like that. So for me, the financial investment was worth it. And the longer that I stuck with it, and the longer that I've continued to take the lessons and the classes and things like that, the more that I've been learning, the more that's been sticking with me, and the more that basically, things just start to make sense. The fact that you have not only your coach to help you through things and answer your questions, you also have that large community of other students who are learning the same thing as you are, who come from pretty much everywhere, and all the other coaches who are all willing to help and answer questions and kind of guide you along this journey. So you're not alone. Like there's definitely other people who have been through the same thought process that you have, or that you're going through currently this time. This is where I felt like things have actually started to seep into my brain and really started to understand what was happening, and how to actually not just you get practice in speaking, you get practice in learning, or like hearing the things and or hearing the words and the sentences and things like that. It's really like a very comprehensive, everything. So you're not just reading, you're not just writing, you're not just looking at a picture and saying, oh, eso es un gato. You get everything combined. So I think if the motivation is there and you need or really want to learn Spanish, then I would suggest this program over anything else that I've done. And I've been out there and I've tried a lot.